What's up, everyone? It is Diecastbuffet here again, guys. We have the 2025 Ross Chastain BMoose.org Chevy Camaro or Chevrolet or Chevy K5 Blazer, whatever it is. It's just a Chevrolet. It's not a Camaro anymore. Anyways, we're going to be taking a closer look at today's diecast. Let's check it out. And here we go, folks, with today's diecast review. One of the few alternate paint schemes to be made in 164 for Ross Chastain. Like 95% of them, though, are Bush paint schemes, so it's kind of the one anomaly, except for the Kubota car. Anyways, it's the Moose Fraternity Chevrolet, and this one has a little bit of a different look to it. The main thing that I notice with this diecast, and instead of having a gloss texture, it actually has more of a matte sheen to it. I know the box is very, very shiny, but the actual diecast itself you'll see in a moment when I open it up. But yeah, there's some differences to it. Let's go ahead and open up the diecast. See the sheen on top of the hood and the roof of the car, that matte finish. I don't remember the 2024 having this. The 2023 and 2022 one, I believe, were gloss. I think the 24 edition was as well. But I know 2022 being, the Martinsville wall ride car, that one definitely was gloss, I believe. So anyways, let's go ahead and dive into the review. If I'm incorrect on the finishes of the car, then that's just me. I'm just an idiot. Got Moose Fraternity right there on the hood of the diecast with bmoose.org right there on the hood. The font definitely reminds me of the Grand Theft Auto font, which I think is pretty darn cool. Huge Grand Theft Auto fan. Got Chastain right there at the front windscreen with a Chevrolet bow tie. Go to the front panel of this car. Let's go ahead and get a closer look at it. You have the updated Trackhouse Racing front valence logo, which a lot of the teams have been updating that in 2025. Joe Gibbs Racing, Junior Motorsports, Trackhouse Racing. We might see a couple more. I don't know that I can remember at the top of my head right now. You got the number 1 right there. Sudoku on both sides. There's a little bit of a oopsie-doo, if you will, where this decal doesn't line up to the side panel. You can see how it's like a consistent stripe right there on the left side. But on the right side, well, technically it'd be this way, the right side, that's the left side. And you can see how it's a little bit, not lined up. That's okay, though. As we go over here to the left side of the diecast, you can see the chrome number 1 right there. That thing is fantastic, especially when you get it at an angle like this where it kind of makes it look dark, and you have that white outlining, and then boom, right when the sun hits it, oh, just freaking awesome, man. The whole paint scheme really reminds me of Chase Elliott's 2021 A-Shock Energy car, which was one of my all-time favorite Chase Elliott paint schemes. Such a shame it only ran a couple of times, and then they changed it, which the 2022 edition of the car looked really good. But then they just, skedaddled out of the sport in 2023. Got bmoose.org right there on the left side panel. Got Jockey and Kubota. I mean, you can really look at it. It does look like the Grand Theft Auto font, which is pretty cool. Got Goodyear right there front. Left fender and Cup Series. You have the Moose logo thing right there in the middle. Again, you have that satin sheen, which looks really cool. Let's go ahead and get a closer look at Ross Chastain right there. Simeon's, you have Acceptance Insurance. Wendy's, and the B-Post decal has Chevrolet there. Love the red spoiler, by the way. That looks really, really sharp on this diecast. Go to the back panel of the car. You have Moose Fraternity with the Chevrolet back bumper, if you will. Got ZL1 with the Quaker State decal on the left side, and the number 1, which for some reason I feel like it needs to be a little bit further over. But again, I'm not gonna go crazy over it. Love colored spoilers. They just look really freaking sharp. Over here to the right side of the diecast, and I like the paint scheme. It's pretty simple. The number's a little bit off there, unfortunately, but you can see like a sharp gradient right there where it's like different lines as it gets a little bit darker. That is pretty cool. I like the little red around the fender well. Just adds a little bit more detail to the paint scheme, and it's all tied together with just a simple 2-tone main color palette. Go to the top of the diecast here. You have a little bit of an outlining on the roof, and I can't tell if the outlining is a different shade of red than the actual color of the car, if you will. And you got Moose Fraternity right there. You have the black roof rails, which looks pretty sharp. Chastain right there at the back window, and then Moose Fraternity again right there on the deck lid. Fantastic looking car. If you're curious, the diecast is actually painted red. You can see how glossy it is. So that's a great example. You can see how glossy the bottom of the car is because they don't, they don't spray the matte or whatever on the bottom of the car. But then as you kind of pivot to the side panel, you can really see the difference in how it changes the sheen of the red. which kind of makes it look a little bit lighter. Traditionally, like matte finishes, like a black car will look dark gray after it's, has a matte paint job on it. That's why a lot of like Martin Truex Jr.'s Furniture Row cars or Regan Smith or whoever, their paint schemes looked a little bit more of a super dark gray rather than just, a standard gloss black race car. So anyways, we're going to show a couple other 2025 diecasts here in the studio. We have the 2025 Interstate Batteries and DeWalt Christopher Bell car, another one of the more recent releases. That diecast is incredible. Speaking of colored spoilers, how about this? Red spoiler, and then you have a white spoiler. That is really cool. And like on the Blaney Menards car, they traditionally have a day glow one. So if you like a little bit of variety, there's a lot of cool stuff there. How about this? First ever diecast for this cat right here, Corey Day, and his debut NASCAR Xfinity diecast. I believe he's running full time in 2026. I could be tripping on that, but at least they made a part-time one for 2025. And speaking of the NASCAR Xfinity series, how about this Atlanta race win for Austin Hill? And what's crazy is all three of the Atlanta race twin diecasts actually got made for that weekend in, what was it? I mean, technically it's early spring, but technically it could be also considered right at the end of winter because it was like in February. Here's the Kyle Busch Atlanta race twin, right? I'm going to park it right next to Christopher Bell because Christopher Bell won the Cup race. That diecast, I believe, is already out in 164, so you could literally get all three of them made in 164. That's pretty rare. Outside of Daytona or Talladega, it's pretty uncommon for all three of them to be produced. For whatever reason, Atlanta, even before they reconfigured it, they had a ton of diecasts made, especially for the truck series. And I have a Ross Chastain diecast sitting around here. There it is, the Kubota car. I want to show that real quick here in the studio. Another one of those beautiful Ross Chastain alternate paint schemes, man. Love the Kubota car, especially the raced win from 2024. That thing is incredible from Kansas. So honestly, I really like this car. I'd probably put it more or less around like a 9.5 out of 10. I love black and red on a race car. It really stands out, especially with I keep saying it, but I love that matte finish. It really makes the car remind me of the A-Shock Energy car that Chase Elliott had. Thank you all for watching the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Diecastbuffet, signing off.